Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, joined now for the first time by Vic So'oto, your new defensive line coach. Coach, welcome to the Trojan family. You come here from Virginia off a very successful season with the Cavs. What drew you to USC?
What didn't draw me to USC? You know, I'm from Southern California, right down there in Oceanside, and just the opportunity to be here, and as a Polynesian, being this kind of the mecca of Polynesian sports is to play for the University of Southern California, and to wear the colors and to go out in the Coliseum and to play. And so the opportunity arose, and kind of the rest is history.
Coach, I'm going to get right into defensive line play, man.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Sean's been waiting for this segment
Jordan
for years.
mentioned your great run at Virginia as a D-line coach there. You guys are putting up some big numbers there.
Right.
What's the most important thing about coaching pass rush and getting into it, man? Getting that. What do you like to see from these guys? What are some of the aspects you see from players that you want to get going?
Yeah, first things I look for are obviously get off and being explosive, but really the mindset of being violent. Like, this game is a violent game, and when you recruit defensive linemen like Big Sean Cody, man, they may look pretty walking around, but when it's time to get down to it, you've got to be violent, and that's a huge thing for me. Obviously, get off, and then how they use their tools. Are they short and stocky and quick and powerful? Or are they tall, long, can bend, and all that stuff? So for me, there isn't one cookie cutter defensive lineman out there. Everybody has their own strengths, but for me, the biggest thing is being violent and physical, and having the mindset of going out and going through someone that's, bigger than you, and sometimes there's two guys in front of you, and still getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, so how do you instill that mindset? Because I saw that great quote from you, that's against my nature, anything soft. So how do you instill that in your players? Is that all practice habits?
A lot of it is, practice. I mean, you take them to what we call the deep end. Get them really, really tired, and get them exhausted and see what they really are. And everybody everybody can do the first rep. Everybody can play the first down. Everybody can play the first quarter, but you want to get them to points of stress, right? And then have them show that I can do this technique. I can do this under pressure. I can do this under stress. And then once they get used to it, that's just where they live. And so now we take the other people out. We take the offensive line out in the game to the deep end and see how long they can swim, and then you just keep going.
Coach, we've had some legendary defensive line coaches here. I can think of Marv Goo and Ed Ogeron and Rod Marinelli. What should we expect when we're watching practice? You think of some of those great coaches, and I remember how they were at practice. What do we expect to see when you're out there at practice, and how you get after it?
Just energy. I'm a real energetic coach. I wouldn't tell a guy to do anything
still working
that I
out.
wouldn't do.
It looks like you're staying in shape too, Coach. You're still in the gym.
Looks like he could play today.
Sometimes. So I've got one play in me. That's about it. And then a lot of ice tub and cold tub, but just a lot of energy. This defense that we're bringing here to USC is an attack defense. It's a get after the quarterback. It's a tackle in the backfield type of defense, and so instilling in the mind of all of my guys, that I'm going to be violent. I'm going to take it to them. And then I'm going to hit the quarterback, and then whatever moves with the football is getting laid out on the ground. Like that is the mindset of
Sean's like it. You're talking dirty to Sean right now.
A couple goosebumps right there.
Coach, there were all these changes on the defensive side of the ball, and typically in sports and in football, that's I'm inheriting a young team. It's not really the case. You guys are all inheriting a lot of quality players, big-time recruits, and you yourself are inheriting a veteran room. Well, what's that process been like? Getting to know these guys, and what have you seen from them?
Yeah, a lot of good things.
Yep.
A lot of promise, and watched every play that they've played, this past year, and just taking them to the next level. I talked to a lot of them about being, it's kind of like being a free agent, and you go to a new team in the NFL, and you got to learn the new lingo. You got to learn what the coach wants, and so there's this jockeying of understanding between us and the players. But so far, it's just these guys have taken everything we've asked them to do and gone above and beyond, and just knocked it out of the park. So up front, we got a lot of players back that are really, really good players.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's okay, this is what you were last year. Now how can I get you to the next level and the next level and the next level? And that's what we're focused on.
You got a new boss in Todd Orlando. Talk about up front, kind of schematically, what should we expect to see? A lot of 3 down, 4 down? Are we going to see maybe Drake Jackson in the stand-up? What is it going to kind of look like?
Yeah, everything. Wild and crazy. Our offensive coordinator, I think, called it Star Wars. Like that's basically what it's going to be. And and anywhere that you're weak up front, we're going to expose that and get after it. So that's our mindset, is get after it in everything we do, but especially when we get on the field, our guys are just playing free and fun and fast and violent.
And one of the threads I've seen with a lot of the new hires, young, energetic guys like yourself who have a nice recruiting background, and there's been this slogan out there, take back the West with some of you guys. And the defensive line position has been one that's been talked about a lot. Are there enough big bodies in Southern California? Do you have to go outside of the region to get the type of players that win national championships? So the way you approach it, is it about, hey, there may not be a ton in the area, let's keep those guys home? Or is it, hey, I'm searching nationwide and I'm getting the guys that have the best bodies and the ones that can get it done for me?
It's a little bit of both. So obviously California, we want to hit California first so they get the benefit of the doubt, and then after that it's who can play, who can replace a J2 Fele, a Marlon Tuipilotu, like who can replace those guys. And so as you go around, you see there aren't a lot of Sean Codys out there, man, and when you find them, everybody.
5'2" Sean Codys, man, you can find those guys everywhere. I see these big guys running at the combine.
Yeah,
they're 6'7", 370 pounds, running the same time I ran at the 40. So those guys are everywhere now. Shoot.
Yeah, and then it just goes from there. Obviously, we believe, USC is the pinnacle of college football. Like, I grew up, there wasn't in Alabama, there wasn't in LSU, it was USC. Everything was USC. And then it started up front. A lot of guys remember, the Reggie Bushes, the Matt Leinerts and all that, but I remember the dang Sean Cody. I remember those Keith Rivers.
Just the D-line coaches remember those guys. Coach, you talked a little bit about your Polynesian heritage,
right,
and the pride in football that culture takes, and what it means at USC. I mean, I can list, I don't know how many Polynesian players I played with, guys I looked up to Junior Seau's, those Troy Polamalu's, all these guys that I played with. And talk about that pride in that community for football and what it means to that community.
Right, I think the way you're brought up, the culture that you're brought up into, it translates really well to football. It's a culture of respect. It's a culture of understanding who you are and representing yourself well. But then it's also a culture of manual labor and physical,
collar,
all that stuff that you got to go and do. So football, it's just you naturally have the build, and you grow up in sort of this culture of doing things a certain way, and football it helps us go out there and go get it and get paid for it, and you could do it for the rest of your life, really, as far as the culture of the Polynesians and this game. It's hard to find something that's so similar, right, but totally different, and from two different sides of the world, but just marry together really well.
Coach, spring football starts a week from tomorrow. I believe all but one of the practices will be open to the public. I know we want people to come out and watch. If they do come out, what can they expect to see if they're down on your side of the field?
Oh, a lot of drills, a lot of running around, a lot of sweat, a lot of big bodies.
I can see some bag drills. I like to see some drills.
And a lot of competition. I'm a big believer in competition. I'm a big believer in, if you're not competing, then you're not getting better. So just a lot of competition, a lot of physical, D-line, Sean Cody stuff.
I can't wait to watch it practice. Coach, I would be remiss now. An Oceanside guy, I got to ask you, where's your best carne asada burrito or Polynesian food I can get down in Oceanside?
Ooh, Kalima's.
Kalima's.
It's right by the pier. So the pier, and then there's a Regal Cinema, and then right across the street.
I'm gonna hit it up. I got to check it out, man.
I got the surf and turf.
All right.
Food and defensive line talk. This is Sean Cody's
dream.
He's now retiring from Trojans Live right after this segment. Thank you, Coach. Again, welcome to the Trojans family. We'll have you on many times to talk to us throughout the season. Coming up next, I think we have a little surprise guest in the house. You're listening to Trojans Live.